questions. Well, thank you for joining us this afternoon, July 30th. We are hosting this little workshop just to give people an understanding of how we're doing the Great River Race this year. Because of the COVID pandemic, we decided that it wouldn't be very smart to try to put a bunch of people together in a small space. And so instead, we're going to offer the race throughout the month of August. So from August 1st to August 31st, people are able to do the race anytime that the tides will work. And the tides are available to work a lot of the days of August, actually. And if you register, I don't know how many people, I guess I'm not sure, are you folks that are registered or would like to register? Maybe just let me know. We are a small enough group. Lorenda, what about you?
Not yet. I'm planning to.
Good. Okay, so you just want to know what you're getting yourself into. And I know you're registered. Liz, are you registered?
Not yet. No.
Not yet. Okay. Bob, are you registered? We're not sure if Bob can hear us. But anyways, so Gabriella, Lori, Brian, and myself are all staff. And we thought it might be helpful to people to answer questions since we wouldn't be doing the sort of normal format this year. And so we thought we'd just talk it over. We'll probably host a couple of these throughout August just to help people who will be registering throughout the month. So again, you have from August 1st to August 31st to do the race. And once you register, or you can become a fundraiser, which Anne is being, and I am also being, and you don't have to pay the $50 registration fee. You ask your friends, you raise $150. We give you the tools to do that. You can ask your friends on Facebook or other social media to just go to a link that we provide you. And you have your own personal campaign page. And then people can make donations to help us to provide environmental education here on the South Shore to protect our waters. So if you're able to, we really would appreciate that type of support. It brings more people to us as well, and helps us continue to be able to be a voice here on the South Shore to educate the next generation about how to care for our rivers and streams and surface waters. So there's a little bit of variation on the race this year. I'm going to take you through our website, which Lori has done a fantastic job of putting together. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Well, first off, let me share with you the tide chart. So let's do that one first. If upon registration of either becoming a fundraiser or just a registrant, you will receive an email with the attached suggested starting times with the windows of time that the tide is good in the month of August to do the race. And so let's, for instance, just take a look at Saturday, August 1st, the first day that you would be eligible to participate and compete in the race. The North River High Tide is at 10:35 a.m. That means you could start from the Marshfield Canoe Launch anytime between 9:05 or 10:50 a.m. And there's two routes this year. You can either do up to Couches Beach, and I'll show you a map in a minute, which is a shorter route. It's about 2.5 miles. You go with the tide up to the Couches Beach. You want to note the tide is high at 12:20 on August 1st. So if you were to do this, usually, so this, if you're paddling this just at a leisurely pace and not really, really moving quickly, you can do this in a half an hour to 45 minutes. So, choose your time to leave your window based on how long you want to stay at Couches Beach for. You can, of course, try to turn around and paddle against the tide, But we timed it so that, we gave you these times so that you could hang out at Couch's Beach, maybe have a snack, go for a swim, and then you head back down. So the first race route is from Marshville Canoe Launch up to Couch Beach. That's about 2.5 miles, one way. You get in, you go up with the tide, you get out. If you got out, say you started at, 10:50 at the edge of it, you would be done by probably 11:30, 11:45, if you're, paddling at a steady rate. And then you'd hang out there and maybe take a swim and then return on the returning tide. It'll go slack for about an hour around that 12:20. Or you can take our second route, and again, I'll show you a map after I go through this tide chart with you. You could go all the way up, which is almost 7 miles, to the takeout to Old Washington Street Bridge, which is the finish line. So you start at the same place, the Marshville Canoe Launch, and you ride up with the tide to the Old Washington Street Bridge, which is a stone bridge. Again, you'll have a map, a Google map you can use on your phone to look at. And there, the tide is going to turn at 1:05. So you're going to really need to leave a lot earlier, because it could take, Brian and I did this, and it took us about 2 hours, and we were not killing ourselves to get upstream. But we weren't dawdling either. So again, a lot of this has to do with how quickly you can make the tide, but you want to get through the bridge before this tide turns at this bridge. So that's why we're giving you the time here. These are estimates, so you might want to give yourself some wiggle room, okay? Because sometimes the tide is stronger on some days, sometimes, well, of course not right now, but sometimes we might have a storm and water would be coming out of the rivers, and, so the tide might be a little bit off. So there's a lot of variability, but these are pretty safe numbers of times to do this. And the worst that could happen is you just have to beat against the tide a little bit. But definitely here, going under the bridge, you want to get there before that 1:05, before these times on the estimated high tide. You just want to pass through. And so here you can see these days, there's no tides that work during the day. But these are all the other tides that are available throughout. And you can do it multiple times. So you can take your best time, as opposed to when we usually do it all one day. So now I'm going to share with you how to register. If I can do that, hold on just a second. So can you see the website here? Okay, great. So you go to our website, and on the front homepage, there's a Great River Race panel, or you can go under events here, and it would come up, or you could just type Great River Race in the search bar. So here it is, the 2020 Virtual Great River Race, August 1st through August 31st. It's our 30th time doing this, 30th year. You can, as I said, participate as a paddler, or if you're inclined, please help us to pursue our mission for educating young people about clean, healthy water. And there are 2 courses. Here's the registration. Here's the fundraiser if you want to do that. And then let's show you the map. So the map is a link on the website that you can look at. Here's the starting route. Starting point is right above the Union Street Bridge, right here. So you can, put this on your phone and, be able to navigate to it. That's a little bit hard to see the entrance to this canoe launch because there's lots of vegetation, it's a conservation area, but you should be able to navigate through with the GPS here. And this is where you're going to start, and you're going to go this way, upstream. Let me see if I can use my little annotate spotlight button here. So you're going to go here. You're going to go in here and up this way. Don't go this way. If you go beneath the bridge, you have to come back up through the bridge. And the tide is going to be coming that way. It's moving in the upstream to help you go upriver. And so you're going to navigate the river. If you do the first just to Couch's Beach. We have other locations on here that are just places you could get out if you really needed to, if you had trouble. We have some waypoints, or if you have any trouble at all and you see a dock, you know, you can always just get off in the course of, you know, if there was lightning or a medical emergency, you can always get off there. And then this is the Couch's Beach finish line. It says Stetson Meadows on Google Maps. They're wrong. I hate to tell Google that they're wrong, but they're wrong. So Couch's Beach, people familiar with Couch Beach? Lorenda, do you know Couch Beach at all? No? Okay, well, again, you should be able to use this map to identify where it is. And there is actually some rocks that come out here, and we're using that as our finish line. And so what you're gonna do is when you get in the water, you're gonna use an app like a Map My Fitness or Strava. I don't know if you're familiar with using those when you work out. If you go for a walk, you can use it. It'll track your GPS route. You know, using GPS, it can track your route and it'll track your time. So when you get in the beginning, you're going to set your phone up with a Strava or Map My Fitness, and you're going to start your app and start clocking your time and your route. And then when you get to the finish line, you're going to stop and save the workout. And then you can, some apps have an ability to just share that. There's like a share function, or you can take a screenshot with your phone of the finished time with the race route so that we can see that you did the route, the date, and what the time of your paddle was. Then you send that to us, and we're going to post everybody's information, you know, their times on a leaderboard on our website. So then, again, if you just do this first route, you're going to hang out, maybe have a snack, and then wait for the tide to turn and come back to your car here. If you want to do the full, so that's about 2.5 miles. If you want to do a little bit further, you want to do the full race route, the traditional race route, you're going to go all the way upstream. You're going to put in at the same location, right? And you're going to go all the way upstream. You're going to go past the Couch Beach, going to go under Route 3. You're going to go up through what we call the no gains. That's all those meanders. You'll wonder, wow, that takes a long time for such a short distance. And then, again, there's some locations here where you could take out if you had an emergency. We just put these other takeout locations if you just got tired or you didn't want to do it anymore, or if there was a thunder or lightning storm that you were concerned about. And then here is the finish line. And this is the Washington Street Bridge. It's a pretty bridge made out of stone, very historical looking. And we will actually have flags across the river here. So when you go under the bridge, you're going to come under the bridge, and then you're going to see the flags, and then you're going to stop your app. I don't want you to take your hands off your paddle going underneath the bridge, because we want you to go straight through and not have your canoe or kayak turn sideways to the bridge. Just better to keep your hands on the steering wheel and go through, and then go under and click stop. And then, so while that's the finish line, you still need to go all the way upstream to the takeout point, which is here. So there's another about a mile to paddle upstream after you finish the race. This is what we lovingly refer to as the crotch. It's where the two rivers meet, the Herring Brook and the Indian Head River, to form the headwaters of the North River. And we actually have a sign that some members put out for people to tell you which way to go. So you'll see a sign up says, take a right here to get to the takeout. And then you'll get upstream here and you'll take out your boat here. So in order for this to work out, you will have had to stage your car or have somebody pick you up. So you would probably need a buddy to do this kind of thing so that you can stage your car upstream or have somebody pick you up and you leave your car downstream. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So that's probably going to take, you know, again, myself and Brian just paddled this in July, and it took us just about 2 hours, and we were fiddling around with cameras and trying to make a video of taking the race. So we were stopping and doing some other things. So you should probably be able to do it in well under 2 hours. The fastest people do it in 55 minutes, that full length. And then again, another mile to get out. So if you join us, you also get like free ice cream, so that's fun. You get this neat mask to stay safe during these times. And if you're one of the first 25 registrations, you get a free waterproof neck tote to put your phone in so that you can monitor your race. So you get some stuff. And then here is a video that we made that will reiterate all of the things that I've just spoken to you about. And again, let me just share with you like my post from my Strava app. So this is what my post looked like on Strava on desktop. But I just snapped a picture of it. Actually, where is that screenshot? Well, anyways, I can just show it to you here. But you can see it just records. This was me starting and my recorded route to Couch Beach. It's about 2.5 miles. It took me 43 minutes. Again, 16-minute average pace. I was not killing it. I was fooling around with my camera and trying to take this video. So or you could do it leisurely, but you would just need to go back and sort of look at those tides to make sure you're not having the tide turn on you. So that's the only thing that you have to be aware of, is make sure you're not having the tide turn on you, because then you're trying to paddle against it. We will have an award celebration on, I think it's the 1st of September. And for fundraisers, because you're all people who do the race and come in first or second get a medal. But the top 10 fundraisers will be awarded $50 gift certificates to local restaurants. And the number 1 fundraiser will also receive a gift certificate to a restaurant and a chartered pontoon boat tour on the North River for themselves and 5 of their friends. So worth about $360. So that's kind of fun. And so hopefully that inspires people to want to get out there, compete, and help us. I'm going to stop the share unless anybody, maybe some people have questions. If you have questions, you can please unmute yourself, and I'd be happy to try to answer them. The only a couple other things about safety. We want you to wear your PFDs. Really important for everybody who is ever on the water. The one thing that will save you in the event of tipping into the water or having some kind of medical emergency is having a flotation device on your body and zipped up, one that fits properly. So it's mandatory to participate, and hopefully, you will do that. So that's really the most important part of the safety. You might want to bring water, always staying hydrated, put sunscreen on, maybe wear a hat, maybe some bug spray, although hopefully the greenheads are gone by now. So, and always keep a weather eye and check the weather before you go. If we have strong winds on any, particular day, it might make it a little more challenging. If you've got winds over 15 miles an hour, gusting to 20, 25, that can be a little tough. So, use your good sense about how you would feel in those kinds of conditions. If you're really, athletic, that might not be a problem for you. But if you aren't, then please don't go out in heavy winds. It probably won't be as enjoyable anyways. So, and definitely if there is calling for lightning or thunderstorms, try to pick another day. It's not a good idea to be out on the water when there's lightning. Although if you do find yourself in that situation, please get out at your nearest exit point, whether that's a private property or public, it doesn't matter. Most people are happy to try to help people stay safe. So get out and get some cover if you see that. Brian, do you have anything you want to add about safety?
That was a pretty good list. The only other thing I can think of is to tell someone when you're going and when you'll be back, someone who isn't going with you. Obviously, you don't want to go solo for this. Always have a buddy, and of course, practice good social distancing. But the most important rule before you go is just to tell someone where you're going and when you'll be back. So that way, if you don't come back on time, they know where to go looking for you.
Okay. Somebody can call the Coast Guard.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Sam mentioned a whistle too. It's rare that, sometimes there can be boat traffic. So if, just have a whistle just in case you don't think there's another vessel out there that does not see you. And pack plenty of water, absolutely. It's going to be very warm out there. And even if you're on the water, which is nice and cool, you can still very easily get dehydrated. So, and obviously, don't mix paddling and alcohol or drugs. We just have to say that. And spare paddle is a good option too, as well as a rope. You never know. In fact, I was leading a group of kids out today, and a couple of them started to get tired, so I just towed a bunch of kids behind me, which is a lot of fun. So you never know when a rope will come in handy when you're out on the water. And definitely be sure to dress for the weather too.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's all I've got for safety.
Yeah. I think the buddy system is really great. And so if you need a buddy and you don't have one, we have other, participants that might be interested in buddying up with you. I am doing it, and I'm recruiting all sorts of friends to come with me. So it's COVID safe because we can stay 6 feet apart and we'll be outdoors. So, I think that's a nice way to bring people out to the river. Lorenda, do you have any questions? Since this is the first time you've done this?
Yeah, it's the first time I've done it. I think this was a good covering of stuff. It's not my first time kayaking, and it's not my first time river kayaking. But I was just wondering, is there a specific reason why you wouldn't want to make a day of it and do 7 up and back?
No, I would do it if you're ambitious and you want to do it. If you it depends on if you want to compete for a time or if you just want to have a good time, right? Just make sure that you don't have the tide turn on you.
Right, of course. Yep.
So as long as you, use that tide chart that we give you, and give yourself, we've padded it a little bit. So it should be relatively conservative. You should be fine. I would think,
So Samantha, this is Liz. I just downloaded the Strava app. So it's a free app, right? Or at least for the first 30 days. Does anyone know?
It is free, as is Map My Fitness, but they have they'll continue to try to get you to pay for it, but that's to have the free of advertising, version of it. I don't pay for it.
Okay, and then I'm going to stand up paddle, and I've gotten really lost on the route before, and there was nobody around, so I ended up doing a little bit more. Do you have any tips for should you always stay to the left? Because I ended up in someone's yard, in their backyard somehow. I don't know how I did that, but I don't want to do that again.
Do you remember where it lives on the river? Because tell me where.
It was coming towards Hanover. I think
Yeah.
it was starting to go like this, So is it a stay to the left? Because I was on a stand-up paddle, and this was a year where we had people there, and all of your volunteers had gone already. So I was just figuring it out on my own. But if you have any tips, always stay to the left, or I don't know.
Yeah, so there's a couple of places that you might find yourself confused. Up in Pembroke, there's an area where you might think to go take a left and you should stay right. And that's Robinson's Creek. It's kind of goes under 139. People often, because it's big enough that it looks like part of the river.
Okay.
So in that first, I can bring up the map and share with you what it looks like. Here. Can you see the map again? Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think the area that I was just thinking about that could be somewhat confusing is right here see this little creek here that, I don't know if you could see my
Yes,
mouth.
I can.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that little creek sometimes looks like it's big enough that it's part of the river, but you should stay right.
They
And,
right. Okay.
yep, of course, if you've got the Strava app, you're going to have a map. So you can use that to locate yourself on the map. So you'll be a dot on that map. And
Okay. All right.
then you'll be able to find yourself. And then another place that I've seen sometimes confusion is this third Herring Brook, right here on this corner. Sometimes people can go there. You're almost at the end at that point, at least of the race route. So there you're going to stay left. You're going to go under the bridge. Then you'll know you've completed the race. You're going to stop your app so you have your time. And then the other place that people kind of wander around a little lost is this area right here that I refer to as the crotch. So this is where the two tributaries of the headwaters of the river meet. This is called the Herring Brook on the right hand, on the right hand of the map. And here on the left, this is the route that you want to follow, because this takes you up to the takeout in Hanover. So there is one other location here that can be, it'll just dead end. So then you won't be racing at this point anymore. So sometimes people go over here, it looks like there's something, but there really isn't. And then you end up going, oh, that's not it. And then you'll come here. And we've actually put a sign here that says take a right.
Thank you.
Hopefully that sign will stay there throughout the month of August. We have friends of the rivers right here that put the sign up. They live just right at, they're the last dock on the right-hand side. They put the sign up. So hopefully that will help you to navigate this particular area right here, which is a beautiful place to get lost in anyways. And then anyways, like you come up here and you get out. So again, you'll have to stage a car if you want to do the whole thing. So definitely you'll need a buddy to do that with, because one of you'll have to drive back to get in once you leave a car up there. Again, or you can just have somebody pick you up at the end and drive you back. So those are the areas that I think are most somewhat have a little bit of, oopsies potential. But I think, again, if you're uncertain now because you'll be using your phone, and again, you want to put it in some kind of water protective device, water protection. If you've registered, we have these little protectors that you can put it in and put it around your neck. And that's good because you can lift it up and then you can just, touch the screen through it. So it should be easy enough for you to help navigate the river. And that's kind of the locations that I think might be a little bit challenging, but right, Brian? I think those are probably, because I remember when you and I were at it, I've done the river a lot of times, and sometimes I was like, oh no, that's Robinson's Creek. We're not going to take a left here. We're going to stay here. But I did look at my phone to make sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And also some of those tributaries are a lot smaller and less water is flowing into them with the tides. So you can usually see the bubbles or the surface of the water. The main current, it will be flowing in one direction and not as much in the other. So it's a good, if your boat starts to pull one way, that's probably the way that you want to go.
Yeah, we've timed it hopefully so that you're, again, going with the current, with the tide moving you up. So you should be in good stead. Is it second time you've done this, Liz?
I've only done it once on a stand-up paddleboard.
Yeah.
And it practically killed me, so I haven't done it in a few years, but back.
I hope you'll have a buddy with you.
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Definitely want to have a buddy with you. And, if it feels like it's too hard, turn around.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I just got lost a lot because I was by myself because I moved a lot slower. But there were only 3 of us back then. I think there's a lot more stand-up paddlers now. Every year seems to be more people. So
Yeah, I like to stand up paddle myself.
yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. So just want to make sure that you get there before the tide turns. That's all I would recommend. Particularly in a paddleboard, you can't go quite as fast, right? So you don't track as well. So Anne, are you good to go? Do you have a buddy that you're doing this with? Are you?
Yeah, I think I'm planning on doing it Monday. Have the day off. Hopefully the weather looks good now. So I'm thinking parking's not going to be a problem on Monday. But what about like if I do have to do it on a weekend? I mean, is that because I know that little street that we parked at, but we can go up there and pull the car up there if we needed to, right? I'm assuming.
I mean, you could, but I wouldn't think you're gonna have to.
Okay.
You're not gonna. So we're going on the opposite side. We're not getting in Norwell.
Yep. You got to go into the little lot path.
You should be fine. Certainly. I don't know, Brian. You've been going to the launches. How have they been?
Yeah, I've been to the launches, all of them every week now, and there's only, one or two cars if you're lucky.
Okay. Yeah, I figured during the week I'm fine. I just
Yeah.
didn't know, like, if it doesn't work Monday and I'm going to do it on a weekend. That was my concern.
I think the Marshfield canoe launch is a pretty safe bet. And yeah, I don't think you'll have trouble. But if you do, you could always go and park as you did, but you'd have to put your boat down and then walk.
Yep, which is fine. Yep.
So you could do it that way.
So on the Marshfield side, you don't need a sticker?
But don't park in the Norwell side because I don't know if they're enforcing that. They do have a sticker requirement.
And I have a sticker, but for Norwell, but.
If you live in Norwell, you can park there, and I wouldn't worry. I don't know how much they enforce it really, but my recommendation is to put in at the Marshfield side anyways, because then you don't have to go under the bridge.
Yeah.
You can avoid going under a bridge.
Good point.
And Anne, how hard was it for you to sign up as a fundraiser?
No, signing up was not hard at all. I definitely flunked my first attempt on Facebook. Like they all were like, "Hey, that's a great," but for some reason that my profile picture changed, which it hadn't. And it's like, well, I don't know why that happened. I didn't change my profile pic. So I put it back out there today. I haven't really checked to see if anybody took the bait on Facebook. But yeah, signing up was fine, and the link is right there. I did get a little confused too, because again, Facebook offers you the donate button, which would have brought you right to your page, not my page. So I was like, oh, I don't think I want. So whatever, it's a work in progress. But it's good.
Because people are donating to you. So
yeah, the kids came through. Brendan said, I haven't sent it to the family. I got to send it to my family is what I got to do. I just haven't done it. So I figure I've got the month. So
Lorenda, are you from the area?
Yeah, I actually live in Norwell, right up the street from
Perfect.
the watershed. So I'll park where I wanna.
Where you want to, right? All right, cool. Does anybody have any other questions? We're probably gonna do this maybe once a week throughout the month of August, just to try to keep recruiting more people to do the race. If you have friends, please ask them to participate. If they're not gonna do it with you, maybe they can donate to you as a fundraiser. Because we really could use the support, as always.
I have one question. Can people rent kayaks to participate if they want to?
So, we have in the past, if people are fundraisers, helped them out with some equipment. And if you want to rent, I think King's Landing might have some, but I'm not sure. So I would, it's kind of like a catch as catch can with them.
Right. Yeah, I have a friend who wants to do it but doesn't have a kayak, and so just trying to get information for her too. Because I have one already, and then I have one that I ordered for my husband, but who knows when it's going to show up. So.
yeah.
Well, yeah, right. Because I know kayaks and all equipment is difficult to get. So Lorenda, we use our kayaks during the week a lot, but on the weekends, we might be able to help you out if you can't find another alternative. Or if you want to do it as a fundraiser, I'll definitely make a deal with you. So, all right. Any other questions, anybody? All right. Well, if you do have any questions, you can always email us at info@nsrda.org. And if you, at the end of the race, you're going to send your screenshot or share your photo of that, of the app to us at what is the email, Lori? Is it Great River Race or GRR?
Great River Race.
So Great River Race at nsrwa.org, and that's all in the information that you get when you sign up. The map, I think, is a really helpful tool. So that's something you probably want to have on your phone before you go. And I would check out using these My Fitness or Strava apps before you get on the water, just so you know how to operate them and how to take a screenshot. Anything else, Liz? Did you have another question? No? Okay. I hope you are all staying cool, and thank you for participating, and please get board, and I hope we see you on the board.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz.
Bye.
Bye.
You guys.